Good evening, Sammy. It's all about getting kids involved in art and giving back to the community, especially given that there isn't a whole lot of funding for these types of art projects. And I mean, it's also the opportunity for kids to show off their creativity. The plane that crashed out here, you can't really see it right now, but I'll zoom in for y'all in just a minute, was an experimental biplane, and we do know that there were two passengers aboard the aircraft when it crashed down into this field. That's right. First of all, dumping animals is illegal according to the Humane Society of Odessa, and the more that people dump, the greater the overcrowding problem becomes and could lead to the spread of potentially dangerous and contagious diseases. Here's what we know so far about this fire. According to the fire marshal, Justin Bunch, he tells me that Viking Pools caught fire right around 7:45 earlier this evening. Now, crews from all over Midland and Ector County, they joined in to fight this fire and evacuate nearby businesses and an RV park. Now, so far, no injuries have been reported, but there are concerns about the smoke that's billowed up from this fire, even as the smoke has been pushed down to this point in time. Just like last week, people have lived in this area of the county for nearly 3 decades and have never seen flooding quite like this. In fact, there are some areas around here where there's almost as much as 3 feet of standing water. Their question tonight, where is the water coming from? Before the district can really get into the costs, though, they will have to decide on a new name for the school, which could come tomorrow.
You know, Jonathan, there's something else on the table here. The issue of the lawsuit that was filed against the district. How is the district moving forward with that case?
Tatum, MISD has requested that this lawsuit be dismissed due to no viable causes of action, and the judge presiding over this case has given both parties until November 9th to present their arguments for their actions in writing. Today, the Ector County Sheriff's Office tells us that they've arrested a man in connection to the threat. This is David Paul Finnegan. He was arrested at about 4 p.m. today on a felony warrant for the charge of tampering of record and a warrant for felony theft. He is also facing pending charges related to the device that was found at the courthouse Thursday morning. Moving over to Howard County, let's take a look at all of this. Yesterday, we talked about how there was a chance for some severe weather, and, well, some of y'all got quite a bit of rain. One Big Spring resident sent us this video from just outside her house, and you can see just how much water there is due to all of that rainfall. Now, after a 3-year-long wait, the Museum of the Southwest Children's Museum opened up for the first time today, and it was a big hit for kids and adults alike here in West Texas. Now, Rachel Robinson, you were there, and you have more about what people can expect when they go out for a visit. Well, Dylan, we figured that it would be a pretty busy day weather-wise, and I know you've been tracking severe weather chances all day. What have we seen here in the Permian Basin so far? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring my costume all the way out here to Andrews, but you know who was prepared out here in Andrews? Fort Stockton, and boy, were they ready to knock off Andrews for that district title tonight. Despite coming in with a so-so record, they were ready for a fight, and that's exactly what we got. And so with that, why don't we go ahead and take a look at those first half highlights. It was a pretty uneventful drive, just a straight shot down I-20, a little long if you ask me, but let's go ahead and get to what we're all here for. That's some high school football playoff action, and boy, did this matchup tonight live up to the hype. 2 10-win teams in Wink and Wellington, and it was nasty, it was physical, and it was everything that you expect the playoffs to be. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at those first half highlights. Good evening, Tatum. This was a night to remember, not just for the community of Andrews, but for everyone who had a hand in making this parade happen. Over 30 bands, they made the trip out here to Andrews. We're talking over 1,200 students marching with the Mighty Mustangs Band. Marching to the beat of the Andrews Mighty Mustang Band, all 1,260 of them.
This is all about them.
And just like that, the heart of Andrews grew threefold, all to put on a Christmas parade during the community's greatest time of need.
It's just a show of love. I mean, there's no other way to put this. I mean, it's just, for 1,260 kiddos, high school kiddos, to give up their Friday night to just come and love on somebody that just may be hurting and going through this tragedy, and then just in the healing process, it just says everything right there about what West Texas is about.
And it will likely be the largest parade this town has ever seen, a physical display of showing up for your people, proving you are never truly alone. It was a sight to see, people sharing the moment with their people. And leading the way, the stars of the night, the Mighty Mustang Band.
They're excited. And yeah, I mean, nothing has been negative. Everything has been positive all the way around.
And all of their honorary members.
We can't be grateful enough. We don't have words to express how grateful we are. Thank y'all for all your support. Thank you for all your thoughts and prayers, and continue to do so because Andrew's band needs it.
Together, we all keep marching on. Tatum, one more thing to note, there was such an outpouring of support for the parade that the city of Andrews actually had to change the parade route, making it bigger just to accommodate all of the bands. Reporting in Andrews, Jonathan Polasek, NewsWest 9. Upgrades to Odessa's water treatment facility. It was something that couldn't be put off any longer.
It's going to take 4 years to build the plant. And so it is an emergency. We do need to get it done now and get moving on it. The can can't be kicked down the road any further or any longer. Otherwise, citizens of Odessa will be boiling water.
Still, lots of work to be done, going through rating agencies and receiving the funds in early October, leading to bids and finally construction starting in early 2022.
It'll probably be January or early February when they break ground. So if we'd had to wait, till an election in November or next May, we'd have been so far behind the curve that we were running some real risk of the water plant going down.
Several key areas will be focused on as the work begins, including structural damage, filters, electrical, and computer systems.
The electrical's a real problem. It's one of the biggest problems. And then we've had to just, over the years, they've piecemealed together some computer systems to be able to monitor it on under a new system. We'll have a whole new computer system to monitor the chemicals going in, how much flow's going in, how much flow's coming out.
But how does this impact residents of Odessa? Will water supply be cut off at any point during repairs? Thompson doesn't believe so.
No, I don't think so. We have two plants up there actually. So we work on one while one's down, and then we'll flip over and work on the other one when the new one comes up. So it's a two-step process.
Now, using the COs to fund the project initially meant that Odessa residents could possibly see a slight increase in their water and sewer bills. However, Thompson's saying that won't likely be the case, at least for the first year. Instead, those funds coming out of the water and sewer revenues. And then after that first year, they'll go ahead and reassess and see where the balance stands with water and sewer revenue. And then maybe after that first year, slightly increase the water and sewer rates for Odessa residents. Reporting live in Odessa, Jonathan Polasek, NewsWest 9. First, a moment of silence, then one of support. Marching in place of the Mighty Mustang Band today, students from Big Spring and Sweetwater. A moment to remember for the Mustangs. And the way it all came together started with the phone call.
And I reached out to our band director, Gabe Martinez, and I said, Gabe, what are the odds of you rounding up some of our band members? He thought it was a great idea. And so what you see behind us, our band is well over 100, but they were able to at least get over 50. And Sweetwater obviously said they were going to play.
No hesitation. That's West Texas. Neighbors looking past mascots and school pride and getting to the heart of the matter, standing in when others cannot.
Bands are always known as kind of being families within themselves. And it really wasn't a question of whether we would or wouldn't. I mean, we were going to be here no matter what. And before I could even text anybody, I was already getting messages asking if we would.
Halftime was dedicated to band director Darren Johns, a man whose life work was committed to students.
Somebody told me he was a tuba player back in school, and the song we're going to play today for halftime is called Nearer My God to Thee, and it's a hymn. And it's something that I had in a hymnal.
Today's performance goes to show what happens in band halls and on the field is bigger than any game or any tragedy.
We all live in West Texas. We all look after each other. And when something like this happens, in such a terrible tragedy, we all pitch in to help out each other. There was not a moment's notice where we just said nothing except what can we do to help the people in Andrews.
Near or far, West Texas will always be there for West Texas. Reporting in Sweetwater, Jonathan Polasek, NewsWest 9.